Welcome to Doc Lanu's Story Time. If you enjoy this channel, please click the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. Now, let's get to the stories. Today, I am reading from Chapter 1 of the novel that I am currently working on. This project does not have a name yet, but I am excited to share. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. Here is Chapter 1. The elevator door opens. He walked out into the hall and observed a tattered paper handwritten sign, "Booster shots," with the arrow pointing to the right. Right below the sign was a labor and delivery wooden sign with a wooden arrow pointing to the same direction. He approached the nurse's desk and saw a woman with brown hair and gray streaks. Her eyes had wrinkles around them, but they were not very noticeable. She saw him approaching and smiled. "Hello, how are you today? Are you here for your booster?" He smiled and answered, "Yes." "Well, happy birthday. I always like to see someone as young as you. May I see your ID?" He pulled his ID from his wallet. She looks at it. "Michael Daly." She stops for a second. She looks at Michael and then opens her desk drawer. She pulled a notebook that had little tears with paper that was white once. She opens the pages. "Oh, you were born here." "Yes, ma'am." "You were the last baby that was born here," she spoke. Her eyes started to water a little bit. "Yes, ma'am," he said quietly as he was looking away from the nurse. He always felt awkward when he was reminded that he was one of the youngest people alive. "I remember that day. I kept a journal of all the births back then. The number of babies that were born each year was getting smaller. Then you were born, and you were the last one here. I was in the room when you came into this world. I was fresh out of nursing school. I dreamed of getting married, having children, growing old with my husband, and watching our grandkids." Tears were coming from her eyes. She picked up a tissue and dried them. "Sorry, it's hard to remember how much hope I had back then." "It's all right," Michael tried to comfort the nurse. After births had disappeared, the government decided that all hospitals' labor and delivery units would always stay open and staffed. I think they were trying to keep people hopeful. Many hospitals just started using us for the immunization boosters to help pay for our salaries. "Why have I not seen you here before?" My family moved away when I was a toddler. I'm just moved back to help my grandparents out. They are so lucky they have you to help them." Michael just smiled. His grandparents were lucky, but this nurse and Michael were not. As the nurse ages, she will not have anyone to care for her. Michael did not even want to think about how when he is old. "Roll your sleeve up." Detective Michael Daly arrived at the precinct. He got out of his patrol vehicle, a black sedan with subdued reflective tape and hidden emergency lights. He may have been hired by his new department as a detective, but all detectives were expected to patrol and perform traffic duties. At the age of 25, he thought he was promoted very quickly, but most of the officers had either retired, began working in other industries, or were promoted to leadership roles. This department, like many others, was not filling its open slots. All officers were expected to perform multiple roles. "Happy birthday, Daly." "Did you get your shot?" A tall man wearing his white police shirt with captain bars on the collar asked him. "Yes, sir." "Is there anything I need to investigate today?" "Not yet. Just patrol and maybe try to catch traffic violations." "Be careful out there. I don't want to be told that you are going to be reassigned to desk duty." Michael hated desk duty. "That is all my last department would put me on after I got into the gunfight my rookie year," A high official thought I might be the person that saves the world. Michael rolled his eyes. I know, believe me, my bosses are trying to do the same here. I will do what I can, but don't take any unnecessary risks. Yes, sir. Michael's captain just reminded him that he was the youngest known person in the world. Michael walks back outside to his patrol vehicle. He opens the trunk and pulls out his tactical vest. He placed the vest on and made sure his badge and police agency were clearly visible. Michael then unlocks the gun lockbox and places the Smith & Wesson 9mm in the holster of his vest. Time for him to start patrolling. Michael cranks his car and starts to head to his patrol district. The neighborhood within his district was a very low crime rate. His main purpose was to talk to citizens in these neighborhoods. We want you to instill a sense of safety and hope to the community, was how his captain explained it to him. His captain did stress the word hope on that first day. He drives by the old high school. All schools had closed before he graduated from high school. He had to earn his diploma with an online program. The high school was recently reopened to place people temporarily as they moved closer to the bigger city. Michael thought that he was lucky that he could just move to his grandparents' place. That kept him out of the makeshift shelter, and it allowed him to help his grandparents out. A win-win situation for all of them. Michael likes the patrol part of his job. He remembers reading about community policing and tried to practice speaking to the citizens in the neighborhood. Many were older, but he did develop a good rapport with them. Car 22, Central, his radio said suddenly. Car 22, Michael responded in the mic. Car 22, Central, respond to 6284 Derby Lane, immunization violation, Miss Clara Smith, code 4. Central, car 22, responding to 6284 Derby Lane, code 4. Michael knew the subject, a widow who lived alone and probably did not have any family left. Michael arrived at the house and approached the front door. He rang the doorbell and heard the elderly woman say, "Come in, it's open." Michael enters the foyer. "Miss Clara, was yesterday your birthday?" he asked as he enters the house. "Why, yes, young man, it was. Are you here to wish me happy birthday?" She sees Michael in the foyer. "That is so sweet that the police like to wish me happy birthday. What is your name, officer?" "Miss Clara. It's me, Detective Michael. Remember, I helped you bring your groceries in a couple days ago." "Oh, Michael, come in. Get some cookies." "No, ma'am. You missed your immunization yesterday. I must take you to the hospital for your shot." "Do we have to go do it today?" "Yes, ma'am. If you're too late on it, they will put you in a quarantine camp. I don't want that to happen." Miss Clara starts to put her coat on and grab her purse. "Am I under arrest?" "No, ma'am. I am just a ride." Michael did like that part of the law. It was his discretion whether he just needed to remind the violator, transport the violator to the hospital, or arrest the violator. All Miss Clara needs is a ride to and from the hospital. When arriving at the hospital, Michael took Miss Clara to the immunization violation entrance, where he met with the government immunization administrator. He looks at Michael's name tape on his tactical vest. "Detective Daly, what do we have today?" "Miss Clara Smith, immunization violation, transport required. No arrest was made. She does have memory issue." "Okay." He looks at something on his computer. "Her birthday was yesterday." "Yes." "Please confirm photo on the screen." "Yes, that is Miss Clara Smith." "Okay. She will see the judge and get her immunization shot. We should be able to get her home in 3 or 4 hours. Forgetful elderly is what we see mostly nowadays, and the judge will not find them guilty." Michael always worried about someone found guilty of the Immunization Requirement Act. they could be in prison for over a year. However, dementia is one of the proved defenses for the crime. Michael returned to the patrol car and picked up the radio mic. Car 22, clear. Car 22, Central. Respond to 801 Industrial Lane, homicide investigation, code 3. Car 22, responding to 801 Industrial Lane, code 3. Michael got in his car, this time driving a little faster, but did not violate any traffic laws. He arrived to the address to find it to be a warehouse. The medical examiner, ambulance, a rookie police officer, and fire department were already there. Detective, rookie officer called to Michael. Scene is clear. What happened? Found a door open and investigated. I found a body in the back office. I called dispatch and they sent the ME. She is inside waiting. Michael walked into the back office area and found a coroner looking at the scene from outside of the door. She was wearing an isolation suit and booties over her shoes. Hi, Detective. We meet finally. Just not under the circumstances I prefer. I am Dr. Sanders. No, I would prefer meeting under happier circumstances. Detective Michael Daly. Michael looks at the scene. A young woman without any pants was on the table. He noticed the lack of blood at the scene. He also notices a bloody tissue that was shaped like a flat cake with a grayish tube that had a clamp at the end of the tube. The fire department and EMS is still looking. Looking for what? Detective, that right there, she points at the bloody cake. I only saw pictures in the textbooks, never in the field. That is a placenta. We are looking for a baby. This woman just gave birth. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to this novel. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you have stories, poems, or original music you'd like to share, please email it to j.lanou.stories@gmail.com. You can click on the icon on the left for a previous episode. You can click on the icon on the right to subscribe to my channel. Also, do not forget to hit the like button and share with your friends. Until next time, take care of yourself.